We're back at it again, party people. The tomfoolery is in full effect. The miscommunications, the mishaps, the what are they? Generation I don't know why I think. I think it's Generation Y or Generation Z, Gen Z. Gen Z. These babies out here, they struggling. They struggling. So, I'm not playing no clips in this video because there's tons of tea outlets. Why am I saying this? They are tea outlets. There's tons of tea outlets, so you can watch the clips on exactly what Ari said and, you know, Deshae Frost's Twitter response. Y'all can read that for yourselves. I'm here to point out the obvious, but for some reason it's not being stated by any of the tea pages, at least not the ones I've seen, so the bigger ones or whatever. But the obvious thing here is, we know it's a he said, she said situation. It's a he said, she said, but they both are actually telling the truth. They're both telling the same story. The fault lies with, in a sense, them both. And I know that the trust women, it's never the victim's fault. I know that mentality is a thing, but let's cut the bullshit. Cut the bullshit, cut the bullshit, cut the bullshit. It is never the victim's fault for whatever the perpetrator does. It is the victim's fault in the sense that, how did you end up in that situation in the first place? This doesn't stand for every victim. And believe me, like I've worked in victim situations. So I'm not one of those people that's like, blame it on the victim. That's stupid. But what I'm not going to support either is to completely void victims of their part. Because what that does is that's going to create a generation of irresponsible young ladies. And we already have that in our generations above us. Mine above us. I'm a millennial. Gen Z is taking it to a whole nother, like the irresponsibility is, which is, that's why we love Gen Z, but that's also why we like Gen Z. Get it together. You know what I'm saying? But even in the clip where when Wooda's recording himself talking to Ari and she's drunk, right? He's FaceTiming her and she's drunk. Now, whether or not this was staged, planned, whether or not all of this was staged or planned is an investigation. What I'm here to talk about is particular wording that she used. Ari said in a drunk mindset, but one thing about a drunk mindset is it brings out it brings out the things you're trying to subdue. That's just facts. That's why your judgment's impaired. Because if somebody is drunk, they are more willing to do something they want to do, but they probably shouldn't do. And then obviously they're more willing to do things that they don't want to do as well. But let's not act like being drunk, any behavior you do while you're drunk, that was totally against my morals. In some cases, yes. In other cases, being drunk just makes you more susceptible to do what you were already interested, thinking about, considering. Like, even biblically, it's like, whatever you think in your mind, like a man that sins, he was already thinking about it. He's only tempted by what he's already thinking about. You can only be tempted by what you're already interested in. So I'm not trying to get preachy in that sense, but in that video, she said to Wooda, I don't like Deshae, blah, blah, blah. In so many words, I don't like Deshae. He's on my tip, and I don't know why I'm here. And then she proceeded to say, I'm going to play my part. And she was laughing. We understand she's drunk. She's drunk. So how she's saying it, the laughing, what she's saying, all of this is like, ooh, well, what did you really mean? What did you really feel? But here's what we can do. We can take her behavior when she was drunk compared to her behavior when she was sober. This is a young lady A young lady who accepted a flight from a stranger because he's a stranger to her. Knowing him through social media does not mean she knows him. She accepted a flight through an influencing stranger to his house. Even in the video, when she got to Deshae's house, he told her, you can go freshen up, take a shower in his bedroom. Deshae has a 3-bedroom apartment. A 3-bedroom apartment. There's another bathroom. There's a guest bathroom. Alan uses that guest bathroom. There was no reason for her to take a shower in Deshae's master suite. No reason. So we have a young lady who has the audacity to catch a flight, to go to a strange man's house who lives with another man. It's not like it's just one of them. She went to Deshae's house not knowing what she was going to walk into, proceeded to stay with this man and this other strange man, got there, got comfortable enough, closed the bedroom door to Deshae's room to freshen up. As soon as she got there, Deshae was all up on her. Now, yes, this could have been a little misleading because it's like, okay, well, the camera's in my face. No. Even in acting, an aspect of it is true. This is why the best actors have to go into a solitude place and prepare themselves mentally to take on that character. The best actors literally study, research so they can embody, in a sense, be possessed, if you want to, by their character so that they can deliver their best job. We all know it. So even with the cameras in your face, an aspect of that dialogue, an aspect of how Deshae is flirting with you, an aspect of what it looks like is true. True enough for you both to engage in the act of, I'm hanging out with Deshae, he's flirting with me. You can't be like, oh, it's just business. Nah, baby. No, it's not. No, it's not. The foundation is business. The cover, the roof may be business, but the in-between, there's a little bit of truth in there. Ain't nobody gonna sign up to do flirtatious business with somebody they're not attracted to unless they're a slave. Unless they're owned under a contract. You're not. So you showed up in sober mind to a strange man's house. We're okay with freshening up in his master suite when he has a whole extra streaming room and a guest bathroom. And then when y'all start drinking, it's fine. Y'all are young, but when y'all start drinking, you're drunk enough to also even say out of your own mouth, I'm going to play my role. I'm going to play my part. That's what you said to Wuda. I'm going to play my part. I'm going to play my role, and laughing about it. What exactly you meant by I'm going to play my part, play my role, only you know. But what it looks like, and the thing about stereotype is there's truth in it. What it looks like is that there is an aspect of you that understood, I am here to act, I am here to play a role, and that is to be persuaded or seduced by Deshae. You and your sober mind were okay with that in the beginning. So in your drunken mind, you're already in a situation where you have accepted that fate in your sober mind. So in your drunken mind, you're accepting it a little bit more than you should. Now, what Deshae did, he wrong for that. That's on his part. Like, we're not cutting Deshae no slack. That's not what this is. That's not what this is. Men, boys, because not men. Men wouldn't be in this situation. Boys. If you are in a position where you are making conscious decisions for another person, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. The only time that is somewhat acceptable is when you're making conscious decisions for a child that does not endanger that child. Because even a pedophile makes conscious decisions for a child, and we all know you're wrong. You're wrong. So this is nothing to do with Deshae didn't do wrong. What Deshae did is wrong, but that's obvious. We all know that. What I'm trying to say and get like the point across to you young Gen Z women, even some of y'all older women that are just dumb. Young lady, you are not without fault. You are not without fault. This is not to beat you down. The part that you played, you're wrong for your part. The part that he played, he's wrong for his part. You should be allowed to make bad decisions, and your bad decisions affect you, but not somebody else's bad decisions affect you. So what Deshae did was wrong. What any man does, not just to Ari, what any man does in this situation, he's wrong. But we have to have accountability. We have to, as women, even as boys. As a human being, you have to have accountability. And we cannot keep sitting here allowing these young kids, young ladies, young boys to go without taking responsibility. If I was your mother, I would be pissed as hell that I found out. Or even if I knew. What you mean? What? Let my daughter come and try to tell me I got raped in LA. Mama, I'm grown, so I decided to take a free flight. Girl, unless your mama is not in your life, as in she's a bad parent or she's literally dead or she's gone, every woman, every mom should be teaching their kid. Nothing's free from a man. Nothing's free unless he's your daddy or your brother. And even then, you gotta watch them because they do stuff too. So nothing's free. You didn't catch no free flight. You didn't. You never caught a free flight. So if I'm hearing my daughter telling me I caught a free flight to go link up with a male YouTuber in his home to spend the night, and then I used his personal master suite, whether or not she slept in that man's bed, which we know she did, but even before that, you used his master suite bathroom? I'm already looking at my daughter like, what the hell? Why would you do that? This man has a guest bathroom. Why would you do that? That's when we get into the conversation of, well, he offered. He offered, and I didn't want to be a party pooper. I didn't want to make him uncomfortable. There was no problem at the time. That's where your accountability is getting fucked up. That's where your accountability is getting fucked up. Anytime you enter into a transactional situation, it was a transaction when he got your flight. It was a transaction when he was going to film with you. It was a transaction when you were staying with him. Anytime you enter into a transactional altercation, understand and set boundaries for what you are okay with. I didn't want to be a party pooper. Even taking all the shots he's offering. Even taking all those shots he's offering. Is he wrong for offering all those shots? Yes, but fuck him right now. We ain't talking about the niggas. We know the niggas is fucked up. You are a lady. You are a lady. You are a girl. You are a young girl. Stop. Stop. You should have never. I want to say you should have never caught the flight. But even if you catch the flight, stay with him? A stranger who you're not there to flirt with him. You didn't go on that type of time. I mean, you went there to flirt with him. So you weren't going there I want to get to know Deshae on an intimate level. That was not your purpose. So why were you ever going to stay the night with him? I want to tell you why. Because he didn't get you a hotel room. That was a clue right there. Why don't I have a hotel room? You want me to come into town? You want to film together? Why don't I have a hotel room? Or why aren't you offering me to stay in the streaming room? Why aren't you offering to sleep on the couch? And then maybe I'll stay in your room. Was this not talked about? Maybe to an extent it was, but somewhere along the lines, you allowed your boundaries to be crossed. If you ever established them in the first place. This is the responsibility of a woman. This is the responsibility of a woman. While you're going through this hard time of what the fuck happened to you, you need to also process your part in it. Because if you go through the rest of your life being like, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, and I had no part in it at all. You weren't just walking down the street and got fucking dragged into a van and raped. That's not your situation. Those women that were walking down the street and got dragged into a van and raped, they got a lot of reason to be like, oh, I'm the victim. I'm the victim entirely. But we're not going to play these stupid games with you young girls. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Not that you got hurt. That is stupid, but that's not what the fuss is about. Do not put yourself in a situation that is walking like a duck, quacking like a duck, shitting like a duck, do not. And then get mad when it's a duck. Do not, do not, do not, do not, do not. Do not trust strangers. We learned that when we are kids. Don't trust strangers, especially a boy, and you're a girl, a single girl, and you're going there by yourself. You didn't go with no backup. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. We are not going to act like you didn't have no fault in this, baby. We just can't. We cannot. And I don't care if y'all don't like what I'm saying, you're lying to yourself. If y'all don't like what I'm saying, you are probably also a Gen Z baby. And you are learning that I have no responsibility. I have no responsibility. Anything that happens to me is not my fault. That is not true. I'm here to tell you that's not true, baby. It's not. It's not true. It's not. God didn't just drop you on this earth with free will, but give you no responsibility for yourself. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's dumb. In this situation, there are a lot of ways in which you set yourself up for failure. You need to go see a therapist because you need to process what you did not have control of that happened to you. And you need to process what you did have control of, because that is equally as important. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. If you have daughters, you need to be having these real life conversations with them. If you have a daughter, you need to have this real life. If you have a daughter, you need to let them know. Blame the victim. Blaming the victim is a real thing. Not all the blame, not most the blame, but acting like a victim has no part in certain situations. Like I said, an obvious situation is if she's just walking on the street in jeans and a regular t-shirt and some Nikes and gets pulled into a van. That is an obvious, she had no fault. That lady had no fault. But that situation and the situation with Ari are two different things, and let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's stop lying to these babies. Let's stop lying to these Gen Z babies. Girl, you have a part to play. You have a part to play. And your part, your accountability, you need to process that as well. Do not let people tell you in your ear, don't feel bad. Don't think you did something wrong. Don't think this. Don't think that. You good, girl. You had no fault whatsoever. Do not let these people lie to you. Don't let your friends lie to you. If your mom's not a good mom, don't let her lie to you. No, take responsibility for how you encouraged a situation. You have to. Because if you do not take, my cat is going crazy. If you do not take responsibility, you will not learn that skill. You will not build that character. You will not build that ego. And you're going to continue to grow up having, well, hopefully not, but running into situations where you drop your boundaries. They may not be so severe as getting raped, but it could be even like a car deal. You could be trying to buy a car and you drop your boundaries. Like, do not train your conscience to accept I had no responsibility. Don't train your conscience with that. You have to be honest. You have to be honest. Because to process everything that happened, you have to accept the part you played too. That's how you learn. That's how you grow.